This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not intended to substitute or replace the advice of a licensed medical professional. Hey girl, my name is Cheyenne Burnett and I am a lover of French fashion, Italian food, and art of all kinds. I am wildly in love with my ride or die Brad, and we have the coolest kids. Oh, and my breast implants tried to kill me. I went from having all of the cutout photos on my goal board coming true to hanging by a thread in a sea of depression-riddled chronic illness symptoms medical specialists couldn't ever give me answers for. Because what I was suffering from, too many doctors and surgeons today are still claiming isn't even real. I was suffering from breast implant illness. And since you're here with me right now, you're probably wondering if you are too. So whether you're just starting to question if breast implants are dangerous, or you've already come to grips with the very real possibility that breast implant illness is what's happening to you, then this is the show for you, because absolutely everything is on the table here. You're going to hear about some seriously sinister plots, a maze of misdiagnosis, and my very personal fight to live. Some days it'll just be you and me diving deep into my personal experience and what I did to heal more than 40 symptoms I now contribute directly to my breast implants. Other days you'll hear from listeners just like you, facing some of your same challenges. You'll also have the opportunity to hear from top experts as they provide us insight on how it is possible to reverse the damage our breast implants have caused. And we'll even discuss legislative efforts being made right now to drive real change. So think of this as your one-stop shop for a true crime style happy hour with a less boobed bestie, that's me, mixed with the real information that can actually help you. So get cozy and get ready, because you're about to question everything you currently believe about women's health and about beauty, because this is the Explant Secrets Podcast. Imagine a chilling reality where those we've been taught to trust with our very lives become the architects of our darkest nightmares. A sinister string of doctors conspire to profit billions, and do, by simply convincing women we are not good enough, and that surrendering to their scalpel and allowing them to place bags of poison inside of our bodies is the only way to change that. Then, when the poison kicks in and our health declines, all they have to do is tell us getting sick is our fault. You're just getting older. Or, yeah, that's what being a mom feels like. This sounds crazy, right? It sounds like some Hollywood horror movie in the making, and I wish that's all it was. But the truth is, for millions of women, that's exactly what the plastic surgery industry has been allowed to do to us with breast implants. Despite what too many doctors and surgeons today are still claiming, breast implant illness is very real, and breast implants can absolutely be deadly. How do I know? Well, because in 2010, I became the proud owner of my very own set, and they were spectacular. And man, would I be lying if I didn't tell you that 19-year-old Cheyenne fully expected my confidence to skyrocket and door after door of opportunity to open up for me after that. But that didn't happen. Instead, in less than a year from the time my implants were put in, any confidence I felt like they had given me vanished as I endured agonizing symptoms, including severe acne, burning skin, sensitivity to sunlight, and some seriously excruciating headaches. But because none of the doctors I saw made the connection, and I had no freaking idea that this could happen, my symptoms were masked, one by medication or whatever, and my once vibrant personality eroded into a depression-riddled, decade-long struggle of unexplained chronic illness. Over those 10 years, one symptom turned into 40. And despite my desperate plea for help, no medical specialists could ever seem to give me answers. I didn't know it then, but the real reason they couldn't give me answers is because what I was suffering from, the plastic surgery industry has gone to great lengths to keep secret. So despite what they want you to believe, I was suffering from breast implant illness, and you might be too. My wake-up call came shortly after my 32nd birthday, when I'd tucked my sweet little boy into bed and cuddled up next to the love of my life, Brad, on our couch downstairs. Frequent headaches for me were normal, but that night, man, did everything change. Our older daughter, Bella, had come upstairs, and as Brad stood up to talk to her, I heard a loud, agonizing scream. And it took a few minutes, it felt like, to realize that that scream was actually coming from me. I was grasping my head so tightly because it felt like someone was literally splitting it open with a hatchet. I tried desperately to stop reacting and to stop screaming so that I didn't scare anyone, but I couldn't. I'd never felt that much pain before. And I've had 3rd-degree burns, so just putting that in perspective, I was in so much pain, I couldn't stop yelling. And through my tear-filled eyes, I tried desperately to reassure my husband that I was okay. But he knew I wasn't. And so did my daughter. I said I just need to go lay down, and I convinced our daughter she should go back to bed. But an hour later, Brad asked her to come right back up because I could still feel the pulse in my eyes, and the right side of my body had begun to go numb. So we headed to the emergency room. And in the car ride that night, I tried to be brave, but I held Brad's hand and started to cry because I was so scared. We arrived at the ER and I was quickly taken back because the fear was I was having a stroke. Several pokes, tests, and hours came and went, and eventually a diagnosis was reached. Ocular migraines. I was told I'd likely need to continue to take medication for the rest of my life, since the frequency and severity of my headaches had been consistently increasing, and now they'd landed me here, in the emergency room, in the middle of the night. The one question no one could seem to answer for me, though, was why? Why was this happening to me? Why had my headaches started? And why were they getting so much worse? It wasn't just the headaches either. No one could explain why on paper I seemed fine, and yet I could no longer climb a flight of stairs without having to stop to catch my breath. Or why my memory was fading and word recall failing. I felt like if I left it up to doctors to figure out what was going on, I'd likely die before they did. And that very real fear that I wouldn't get to be there to raise my little boy is honestly what saved my life. Because I wasn't going to leave him or anyone else in my family without knowing I had done everything in my power to stay. So after recovering for a day or so, I settled back in at home and I got to work, logging more than 400 hours of my own research, which is how I ended up finding the back door to all of the bullshit that they've been hiding from us this whole time. Like how the FDA made a deal that allowed more than 400,000 negative reports of direct harm done by breast implants to women look like it was only one. Or the fact that breast implants are directly linked to more than 50 serious side effects. And as of right now, we know for sure they cause at least 3 deadly cancers. Not to mention, in over 60 years on the market, with more than 35 million of us having had these things implanted in our bodies, not one single study has ever been done that proves breast implants won't hurt you. So needless to say, after a lot of tears and working through an enormous amount of guilt and self-loathing, on August 17th, 2022, I chose to have my breast implants removed the right way. And just one short year later, more than 40 symptoms I now contribute directly to my implants are gone. and my mission could not be more clear. Now, I am not telling you this because I expect you to run out to the nearest plastic surgeon and get your implants out immediately. I actually really hope you don't, because there is so much more you need to know before you can safely take that step. But I do hope that hearing this part of my story helps you find the courage to at least consider that your breast implants are the problem. And trust me, after getting my own health back, and now having helped more than 1,000 other women safely navigate their own breast implant illness and explant journeys, I know how much courage that really takes. Every horror movie has its villain. But you know what else it has? A survivor. And this survivor isn't going to stand by and let countless other women suffer. So whether you are at the beginning stages of this journey and still deciding if you think breast implant illness is what's happening to you, or if you've already explanted and are searching for the next best steps to heal, this podcast is going to give you the answers you're looking for. Carol Caldwell once said, "In a society that profits from your self-doubt, liking yourself is a rebellious act." So, are you feeling rebellious? Because I am. And I am about to make you question just about everything you currently believe about health and about beauty. Oh, hey, girl. Nope, this isn't actually a blooper. I just wanted to drop in really quick before signing off and tell you how truly proud of you I am. I know how scary this whole thing can be, and the fact that you just finished listening to the intro episode of the Explant Secrets podcast means you're willing. You're willing to seek out the truth, even when it's scary as hell. You're willing to consider putting your health at the top of your priorities list, and most importantly right now, you're willing to consider that your breast implants might be the problem. But don't worry, that doesn't mean you have to commit to taking them out right now. Okay, we have a lot more to cover to ensure you have all of the information you need to make a fully informed decision about your health and your life. So take a big, deep belly breath. And hear me when I say, I've got you. I love you. And everything will be okay. Hey girl, so I'm over here giving you a massive virtual hug. Unless, of course, you don't like hugs, then it's a crisp high five. Because you just finished listening to this episode of the Explant Secrets Podcast. Did that just go by way too fast for anyone else? If you want more, head over to explantsecrets.com. Because under podcast, you'll find a full breakdown of today's episode, show notes, sponsor discount codes, and a bunch of free stuff that I've built just for you. And if you're looking for a new crew of some seriously inspiring women who've been there, maybe to bounce your questions off of, or just gain some much needed support, check out my free Explant Secrets Facebook group. You can find the link in today's show notes. Okay, you Explant Rebel you, as we part ways for now, keep these words close to your heart. You are worthy. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of health, and you are worthy of living life to its fullest. Never forget that you have the power to reclaim your story and redefine your own definition of beautiful. So until next time, please be kind to yourself and don't be afraid to stay just a little bit rebellious. See you soon.